Okay, day 30 since delivery. Had a little bit of a setback today. Kind of my first big setback that actually I had to really take some steps backwards and uninstall a few things to get where I was. But I'll get to that in a second. First, I did the pedal box. And just a couple things that I noticed about the pedal box that are going to be some changes for me for sure. One is I did the master cylinder, the hydraulic cylinder for the clutch. And if you go this route, don't expect good instructions. In fact, Factory 5 will just assume that you know how to do this because you do the other two. And I understand that, but for me, I'm not a mechanic. I have no history in this, no background in auto mechanics, and so I need things spelled out a little bit better for myself. So anyways, the alternative to this is a cable for your clutch, and it has you build out this set of plates and run a wire and all that. But that actually, that's what the directions say. But if you go this route, which gosh, it's so much easier now that I know and having done it, this is way simpler. And it seems like it's going to have a nice smooth travel as well. So that was one thing I learned. Just mount this one just as you would the other two. That's it. As simple as that. These little guys here, they don't thread in very far. I mean, they're in pretty deep, but they definitely don't seat all the way. Learned that one the hard way. You can tell this one's a little shinier than the others because I broke it, thankfully, in a nice soft spot here on the side. So, for $1.50, I got like 5 more in the mail next day, and that was easy enough to fix. But fortunately, that was all that I ran into on that one. Installed this front of the pedal box. The directions say to toss the one that comes with the car and use the one that comes with the pedal box in the Willwood stuff. I didn't see one in the Willwood stuff. My assumption is they actually did that swap for me, and I sure hope so. But if they didn't, and I figure it out later, I'll figure it out real soon. Somewhere there's going to be a hole that won't line up. Then I'll have to call them and get that piece. But my guess is this is actually the correct one. We'll see. And then we leave that side there, not actually permanently attached yet, because the inside of the footbox there is going to fit under that before we actually rivet it in. Another thing, I made a change, kind of a midway change. I started to install the accelerator, and I actually broke this piece. Actually, it's just the bar right here as I screwed it in. I broke it and didn't really put a lot of pressure on it when I was screwing it in, so I was really surprised. Fortunately, the accelerator cable came with one as well, so I kind of had an extra one just by luck. But in all of that, I've decided to go with the hardline route. I'm trying to think what you call that, but it's a lever system that runs and it connects by steel bar directly to the engine. And so there's not a cable, there's nothing to snap, and they say that it's just that much better. See, is it Mike Forte? I think is maybe the manufacturer I got with that one. So things are starting to blend together where I'm getting parts. But anyways, it's in the mail, and that one should be kind of a fun one to connect. Then I also today put in, I'm starting to lose my words here, but the steering column, not the steering column, the front steering rack. And this is the power steering rack. There it is. It's 10 o'clock, been a long evening, ready to go to bed. But what I learned here, and directions say this, put this one in first and then drop that one in to get that one in second. But this is where I came into my first real hiccup. And I say the real one because I had this little guy right here mounted on the wrong side. So I had this one on the passenger on the right side, and I had the one over there matched up over here. And so this was further down, and it just didn't line up right. The directions don't tell you which one goes on which side. And so in the pictures actually look like it's tilted down and not up, which made it extremely difficult. So the reason and the way you can figure out for sure that you know which side is the right side is inside the hole here. So where this bolt comes up through here, inside of that, it's cone shaped. And so the bolt will only seat one direction. It has to come up from the bottom, as the pictures are very clear about that. And of course, if this is on the other side and they're flipped, it'll be upside down and it will not go up in there. So, getting the entire steering rack installed, and then I'm realizing, oh no, this is not seating right. And so, just a matter of deduction that it had to be the other side. In order to get this off, it's a real pain. It's a real pain. You got to undo this castle nut. You got to undo both of these bolts, or nuts. The bolts will not slide out. They're blocked by this. We have to loosen that main lug. I think it's called lug maybe. And then we also had to loosen 2 more bolts holding up the caliper. And just basically loosen everything enough to shift it far enough out that I'm able to slide this bolt far enough that way to get this little guy up. And what a pain. So that was like an hour and a half of just backtracking and then redoing everything. And then looking up all my torque specs to make sure that when I put everything back together, it's all tightened down the right way. So yeah, longer night. And I was hoping to really just get to the steering mechanism, or the steering, I don't know what you call that, the steering shaft, and run it up to the steering wheel and all that, but maybe tomorrow. So anyways, that's day 30, really day 29 and 30. So some of that pedal box was last night, but moving on.